The movie begins with a flashback, shedding light on the events preceding this enigmatic revelation. Archaeology Professor Hopper and his faithful dog, Boss, embark on an adventure to explore a remote cave system. During their expedition, they encounter a deserted van dating back to the 1970s, once owned by a group of hippies who inexplicably vanished decades ago. While Hopper investigates their vanishing, Boss's sudden restlessness takes him to a cave where he discovers a cowboy frozen in time. The bewildering sight of the cowboy, seemingly from a different era, prompts Hopper to retreat and return home. There, he reunites with his teaching assistants, Taylor and Jackie, who are eager to embark on their planned exploration trip. However, Hopper reveals that plans have changed, and he intends to go on the expedition alone. With his equipment gathered, Hopper returns to the cave and discovers a mysterious portal or lair, which seems to separate the cave's atmosphere from the outside world. Despite his skepticism, Hopper steps through the portal, and as he does, the frozen man from another era begins to stir. In the following scene, it has been 2 days since Professor set off for their exploration. Concerned by their professor's absence, the students decide to search for him. Lacking a vehicle, Taylor enlists the help of a girl named Cara, who has a crush on him, and her little sister, Veeves. Cara agrees to bring her father's Jeep under one condition, that she and Veeves can accompany the search. To further complicate matters, the archaeology students find themselves joined by Furby, who is accompanied by Veeves as they are in the middle of filming a school project. The story continues with the group's arrival at the abandoned minivan from earlier, only to discover that the missing hippies the professor was searching for are none other than his parents. Decades ago, they embarked on a quest to find the elusive fountain of youth within this system of caves, never to return. Their discovery leaves the group in shock. As they investigate further, they stumble upon a worn-out rope that leads them deeper into the cave. Jackie decides to follow the rope through a narrow tunnel and soon realizes that it has been severed. The cave appears to descend into unfathomable depths, suggesting it may be the same place where Professor Hopper has vanished. Taylor, despite the rope looking too old to belong to their professor, decides to descend into the cave to investigate. The girls decide to accompany him, while Furby, who is very afraid of the dark, is assigned the challenging role of keeping watch. As they descend into the massive cave, Cara encounters the mysterious barrier once again. She informs Taylor that there is a notable temperature difference on either side of it. Nevertheless, they persist in their descent, reaching the very bottom of the cave. At this point, the film shifts to 2 days earlier, when Professor Hopper had just entered the barrier within the cave. As he cautiously proceeds through the cave, he suddenly hears a scream from the cave's depths, followed by a chilling howl. Alarmed, Hopper hastily retreats, making his way back to the cave's entrance. He is perplexed to find the sunlight behaving strangely, seemingly indicating that much more time has passed than he realized during his brief excursion. Upon reaching the outside world, he is further astounded to discover that what was once a desert landscape has now transformed into a dense forest, strongly implying that decades have elapsed since he initially entered the cave. Hopper encounters Cara's deteriorated Jeep and Taylor's backpack, prompting him to re-enter the cave to search for them. Fast forward to the present, the group continues their exploration of the cave until they hear the same terrifying howl that Hopper heard earlier. Fearing an unknown danger lurking in the dark, they decide to abort their mission and head back home, setting the stage for more mysteries and revelations. The film intensifies as Jackie ascends the first rope, but it is abruptly severed, causing her to fall and fracture her leg. Taylor attempts to rescue her but ends up breaking his arm. The group deduces that Furby has been tampering with the ropes, and an enraged Taylor tries to contact him via radio, but Furby remains unresponsive. With panic setting in, the group discusses ways to escape the cave when they hear a loud thud in the background, suggesting that something has fallen from above. Taylor makes another attempt to contact Furby via the radio, and this time, a muffled voice replies, seeking help. To their horror, they discover that it's Furby. Left with no other options, the group decides to venture deeper into the tunnel. As they progress, they come across a section where they can see the sky. Much like Hopper's earlier experience, the sun flickers continuously, making it seem like day is shifting to night in an instant. Despite this bizarre phenomenon, Taylor believes that Furby is playing another prank with his flashlight. Their horror deepens as they continue to explore, and they stumble upon Furby's lifeless body. His neck has been brutally broken, and there are disturbing marks on his face. The group is devastated and fearful, suspecting that someone or something is stalking them. When they find Furby's severed rope, they become convinced of this malevolent presence. Fortunately, they discover Furby's working GoPro camera and decide to watch the footage to understand what led to his demise. In the video, Furby has been waiting for the group's return for days, trying various methods to contact them, through the radio, shouting through the cave, and tossing rocks to signal them. However, he receives no response. Growing restless, Furby explores the surrounding area and stumbles upon the hippies' minivan from the 1970s, containing a journal that holds crucial information. The journal reveals a stunning secret about the cave. It houses a fountain of youth that can heal ailments and even resurrect the dead. This discovery explains why Hopper's parents ventured into the cave. His mother was suffering from a rare form of cancer. As more days pass by, Furby's supplies run out, and he assumes his friends are deceased. Desperate to leave, he decides to descend into the cave himself to retrieve the Jeep keys from Taylor. When he crosses the mysterious barrier within the cave, he witnesses the sky changing rapidly before the rope snaps, leading to a fatal fall, causing the thud heard by the group. Now inside the cave, the radio starts working, and Furby attempts to call for help, inadvertently attracting the attention of deadly creatures who arrive and mercilessly end his life. The footage leaves the group in a state of shock, confusion, and sadness. They're bewildered by how Furby spent days outside while only 30 minutes passed for them inside the cave. The group is determined to escape the cave, and Cara, the only one uninjured, is tasked with free climbing her way out. Taylor provides her with a beacon to signal the authorities upon reaching the surface. Cara, after a strenuous effort, emerges from the cave but is left dumbfounded by the stark transformation outside. What was once a dense green forest has become an inhospitable, barren land with looming sandstorms. The low oxygen levels cause Cara to cough, and she spots an enigmatic spaceship-like object floating in the distance, suggesting that millennia have passed. Upon returning to the cave, the group is disheartened by Cara's experience, as they expect her to find immediate help. They were unaware that only a few seconds had transpired for them inside the cave during her 30 minutes outside. Finally, Taylor realizes that the flickering sun implies that time inside the cave is moving at a significantly slower pace, explaining the severed ropes due to years of friction. Veeves, the youngest member of the group, decides to re-watch Furby's footage and makes a startling discovery. In one frame, the sky shifts between dark and light, with each change representing an entire year. This revelation terrifies the group further, intensifying their desperation to escape. Cara, once she regains her energy, attempts another climb to the surface, but suddenly a futuristic-looking ladder appears seemingly out of nowhere, offering a glimmer of hope for their escape. The giant alien-like figure descends into the cave, causing panic among the group. As the alien reaches the cave, a brutal man-eater attacks it, resulting in a fierce battle. The giant alien successfully subdues and ties up the man-eater with advanced technology. He then turns his attention to the group, causing them to flee in terror. After some time, Taylor and the group arrive at a mysterious place where a group of man-eaters is devouring a victim, who turns out to be the same cowboy from the movie's beginning. The man-eaters spot the humans and give chase. In a selfless act, Taylor sacrifices himself to fight the man-eaters, but he is overpowered and killed. Cara sneaks back and finds Taylor's lifeless body. She weeps in despair. The giant alien approaches the two and, using a small pool of water that appears to be the Fountain of Youth, miraculously resurrects Taylor. The Fountain of Youth myth, previously laughed at by others, proves to be true. However, the man-eaters return and attack the giant. This time, they outnumber him and even manage to remove his helmet, causing him to gasp for air. Cara and Taylor intervene to help the giant and eventually trap the man-eaters with his equipment. After the conflict, the couple tries to assist the giant to his feet, but they fail. It becomes clear that Earth's atmosphere is poisonous to the giant, causing his internal organs to fail. The giant displays news reports and video clips that reveal the group's disappearance from several millennia ago. These clips also show the uninhabitable state of Earth, prompting humans to leave for another planet using a special spaceship called the Ark, the same object Cara saw earlier. After providing this information, the giant passes away. Taylor continues to explore the cave and discovers Professor Hopper, who is injured. What he finds next is shocking. He encounters multiple layers of time, with the first layer containing Hopper's parents frozen. This wall contains Hopper's long-lost missing sister and frozen people from different times. These frozen folks are fighting to get to the youth fountain. Hopper explains that the entire cave is a system designed to protect the fountain, and each layer has a different speed of time. The deeper layers have time moving much slower than the previous ones. Taylor tries to help Hopper but is unable to convince him to leave the cave. He returns to the group and places Furby into the Fountain of Youth, healing Jackie's leg. As they prepare to leave, barbarians once again surround them. The group decides to use the high-tech ladder left by the alien. Cara ascends first, but at the top, she discovers that the entrance is filled with water. A creature yanks her up, shocking the remaining group members. Now, Taylor and the others face a dangerous predicament. If they go up, the creatures will kill them, but if they retreat, the barbarians will devour them. Moments later, a fully transformed Cara returns to the cave and pulls everyone up using a high-tech rope. She later repeats the process for Furby, Professor Hopper, and his parents. The creatures that initially pulled Cara are revealed to be evolved human beings who have adapted over time. Though Cara spent only seconds in the cave, she experienced several years outside. In the final scene, the group is brought to the Ark, a spaceship on a course to find a new habitable planet. The Ark is controlled by evolved creatures who speak a completely different language. At the end of the film, Furby, Hopper, his parents, and his sister all brought back to life. They are now on a large spaceship headed towards Mars. The movie concludes with the spaceship launching into space, leaving Earth behind forever.